So after that incredible 6-0 thrashing of Shakhtar in the week, we now move on to one of our biggest Premier League fixtures of the season. It is, of course, the Manchester derby at the Etihad Stadium, where after what happened last year, I'm sure City ourselves will be out for revenge. Let's get into it, guys, and talk about how we think this is going to go. Yes guys, welcome to the video, the match preview for the Manchester derby this weekend. As always, if you do enjoy this, make sure to leave a big thumbs up. Make sure to put your thoughts and predictions in the comment section down below. And don't forget again to subscribe to the channel if this is your first time visiting. But yeah, one of our biggest games of the Premier League season. Always one that you look out for at the calendar when the fixtures get released at the start of the season. And as always, there's so much to talk about. Although many people would say this is one of the duller lead-ups to a Manchester derby this season. With City playing the incredible brand of football that we're playing, scoring goals for fun and sitting top of the Premier League right now, United, although they've had a little bit of a recovery of late, not really seen as total challenges this year, kind of puts a bit of a different twist on the Manchester derby. It's always seen as a big fixture regardless, but like I say, a lot of people saying this is one of the more uninteresting ones, almost a certain sense of inevitability going into the game, that City are going to win this, but I don't think you can take the game for granted. And when you look back to this fixture last season, that is another big example of why we've got to make sure we get the job done today, get a massive 3 points, make sure that Manchester stays below, and stay top of the Premier League first and foremost. Of course, if you do need a painful reminder of what did happen last season, we played United at home near the end of the season, a chance to clinch the Premier League title, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we dominated the first half. We were 1-0 up, but somehow, in a turn of fortunes in the second half, United went on to win the game 2-1 in what was a big shock at the time, which is what I think it's a bit of a statement that it's seen as a shock United winning in our backyard now because, we are the better team on paper. We've got the better, results and finishes over the last few years. And they're now seen as less of a rival as teams like Liverpool, as Chelsea. So it's definitely been a power shift over the last few years. But still, playing for the pride of Manchester, the fact that this is the Manchester derby still makes this a massive, massive game that both teams will be desperate to win. Looking a little bit at the teams that I expect to see for the game tomorrow, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one as far as both teams concerned. I think you're going to see a couple of players coming back in. The only injuries for City right now are long-term ones, so we're looking at Kevin De Bruyne, Claudio Bravo and Mangala. Of course, Kevin De Bruyne probably the only at the three there that would have started the game if all were fit. So I think you're going to see the classic goalkeeper and backline that we've been used to this season and has performed so well. I think we've only conceded 3 or 4 goals in the Premier League so far, which is absolutely ridiculous. And that back four is, of course, Edison in between the sticks, Laporte and Stones at centre-half, and then Walker and Mendy in the full-back positions. There's a couple of positions there that people might argue a bit more up for grabs than potentially there were a few weeks ago. Left-back being one. Could Zinchenko come in? It would be a massive, massive game to throw him into. Could Duff play in that left-back position like he did in the derbies last season? Or potentially could Kompany and Otamendi come into one of those centre-back slots? Personally, I don't think so. I think it's going to be the same tried and tested situation at the back that we've had for the majority of the games, and I'd be surprised if we did see anything different, to be honest. Looking further forward, there's a couple of players that are guaranteed to be starting. Those are definitely Fernandinho and definitely David Silva. I think Bernardo Silva is most likely going to be partnering David in the middle of the park, although with Gundogan now fit to start, there's a chance he could come in there and perhaps provide a bit more defensive stability than perhaps Bernardo Silva offers. But Bernardo Silva does still track back in the way that we play. Him and David in the midfield have a fantastic partnership, so that's what I'm hoping to see. And then looking further forward than that, I think Aguero is going to come back into the team. He's not started the last couple, and I'm excited for a fresh Aguero to be going into the Manchester derby. And either side of him, I think you're probably going to see Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez. It's always a difficult one to leave Sane out, and I do think he'd do really, really well in this fixture. I think he can certainly get at the fullbacks of United, but Mahrez has been in really strong form lately, as has Raheem Sterling. And although Sane's not been bad, he's certainly been the lowest performer out of the three. So, fantastic, phenomenal player, and it'd be a great asset to bring off the bench. But I do think you're going to see Mahrez and Sterling. But, with those kind of positions, Pep Guardiola could play anything, and I wouldn't be too surprised, to be honest. As far as United go, it's always really interesting to see how they're going to line up as well, because they're another team that's been doing a lot of rotation. We don't fully know what to expect. I don't think there's many players in their 11 that would get into our 11. That goes without saying, I think, in the current squad situations. But De Gea is going to start in goal, certainly their best player by a country mile. And it concerns me that if he has a really good game, he could somehow pull United through. Hopefully that won't be the case, but De Gea for me, he's the best goalkeeper in the world as far as I'm concerned, and it pains me to say it with him being a United player, but for me, I don't think there's anyone in the Premier League, let alone in the world, let alone in the Premier League, that performs to the same high standards as he does, and he faces a lot of shots as well, because United's back line over the recent few years has not been fantastic, but De Gea in goal is a certainty. Looking ahead of that, though, is where you know, there's a lot of options for United, because they've not really got a settled back four this season. I think Shaw's a given to start. He's picked up his form a bit more for them recently, as has Antonio Valencia, who I'm pretty sure is going to be starting as well, but the centre-back partnership could go any way, really. I think you're probably going to see Chris Smalling start, and then possibly alongside him, I mean, it could be anyone. It could be Lindelof, it could be Bailly. I don't really know what to expect, to be honest. I think Smalling's the only one that's certainly going to start. Maybe I don't watch enough of United, as you might imagine, to know that. But I'm not sure who the centre-back's going to be that's going to be playing. Perhaps Eric Bailly is the player that I'd lean towards, but he could be injured. I could be making it up, I'm not sure. Looking further forward, there's some good injury debts as far as Man City are concerned. Paul Pogba is apparently going to be facing a late fitness test, and he's obviously another really crucial player for United. So if he was to miss the game, that would be a big miss for United, because they're going to go with a midfield three more than likely. I think the one that they prefer to play start with would be Pogba, Matic and Herrera, or possibly Pogba, Matic and Fred. You know, there's a few options they've got in there again, the likes of Ander Herrera, the youngster they've got from Brazil, Pereira. But I think Matic, Pogba, Fred is probably where they'd like to go, or perhaps with Herrera instead of Fred. I'm not entirely sure. So if Pogba's missing, that'll be a big thing for them. And looking further forward, Lukaku has not featured for quite some time. Will he come back for the game? Is he out with an injury at all, or has he just dropped him because of poor performances? I don't really know, but he's not played for a while. We could see him come back in. I think you're definitely going to see Anthony Martial play. He's been the most informed player, I'd say. And then possibly Alexis Sanchez, possibly Lingard, possibly, Rashford. There are a lot of options there. I mean, Lingard's another one that we didn't mention for the middle of the park, could play there. So lots of options, and a very hard line to predict, much like City's is of recent times. It's difficult to say who's going to be starting from one game to another. As far as how I think the game's going to go, I think we're certainly the favourites. We're certainly in the best position. We're certainly in the best form, and we've certainly got the better players. So we are the favourites, and I do fancy us to pick up all 3 points. However, like I've already mentioned briefly, United have had a mini revival of a great win for them against Juventus in the week. They've got a couple of wins in the Premier League as well. I mean, they were really under fire a few weeks back, but they seem to have turned that round a little bit. But we're still the favourites for this game, and I want to see us make sure we get the job done. We need to make our dominance count. I'm sure the game's going to be played out mainly in the United half, with them looking to play on the break, looking to exploit perhaps their more physical nature, the likes of Pogba if he was to play, Matic, possibly Lukaku. They're certainly the bigger, stronger team, but the way we apply ourselves is going to be key here. We need to make sure that we get them penned in, and make sure, more importantly, when we do get the chances, we take them. I've already mentioned this game last season when United managed to beat us 2-1. Gundogan in particular, with so many chances in that game to put it to bed. So I'm really hoping we're going to be clinical, and that we can make sure we put this game to bed and get the job done, basically. We need to make sure we get the job done. We've got Aguero, it's going to be fresh. Jesus is just coming off the back of a hat-trick if he was to come into the play. We've got Sterling, who's in magnificent form. Mahrez is in great form. We've got Sane to potentially bring off the bench. We don't know how the team's going to line up yet, obviously, but we have got so much firepower, and I'll be really disappointed if we weren't to pull out a result tomorrow, because I really think we are so much better than them right now. We need to rub it in the faces, guys. We need to make sure that we get the 3 points, reassert ourselves at the top of the league table, where we could have dropped by the time we play because of everyone playing before us, and make our dominance count and make our class tell. I think when you're looking at players that are going to be key, I think Aguero coming back in fresh is certainly going to start, in my opinion. I don't think there's any doubt in that. He is going to be a key man. He missed both derbies last year, and he's our main striker, and I'm looking for him to put in a big performance, hopefully. In the middle of the park, Fernandinho is going to be key, as always, breaking down those counter-attacks and making sure he keeps the game flowing. Likewise, David Silva in the middle of the park, we're going to need a big performance from him. And of course, it goes to that saying that Laporte and Stones in that heart of the defence need to make sure they have a big game as well. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of crosses coming into the box, and it won't be a quiet game for them. Although I expect us to dominate the game, it won't be a game where Edison doesn't have a save to make, I don't think. There will be chances for United, and we need to make sure that when they do get those chances, we get a foot in. Edison makes the save. We need to limit them to what they do, and hopefully that will be the case. I really do think we can exploit their defence. I know they've been a bit better of late, but I do think if you look past De Gea, who's obviously world class, there's no one in their back four that particularly scares me. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. And prediction-wise, I'm going to go for a 3-0 City win. My word, that could bite me on the backside. And I predicted a clean sheet in the last game, and we weren't able to get it. So hopefully it won't bite me in the backside again. But I really do fancy us, guys. We're in phenomenal form. We're playing great football, and I don't think there's any reason why we can't win this game and win it in convincing fashion. United, not the force that they used to be, and I'm really hoping we can take advantage of that. I'm going for Aguero to grab a brace, and then David Silva to get on a score sheet once again. So I'm going for a 3-0 prediction. Again, I really hope I'm not made to pay for that, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game, your predictions, who you think's going to win or lose the game in the comment section down below, guys. Like I've already mentioned, I think Aguero's going to be the key, and if Pogba's to start or not is also going to be a major thing as well. I mean, when they did beat us last season, he was a big factor in that, so if he wasn't to be starting, that, like I say, would be a huge miss. But I'm feeling good. I'm really hoping we can pull out the win. And I'm a mixture of excited and very nervous for tomorrow's game. But like I say, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And yeah, next time I speak to you will be the match reaction. So hopefully it'll be a really good mood reaction. I'll be over the moon. And we'll be sitting pretty at the top of the table once again. But that's getting on the end of this video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I will speak to you all next time. Have a good night. Nidge out.